Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube training. So in this class, I'm going to be taking you through the introduction of what a website is. Okay, so I'm going to be telling you all about websites, what a website is, what a website entails, how you can get your own website, how you can build your website by yourself. Okay, so I'm going to be taking you through what a website is, what a domain name is, how you can the different kinds of domain names that you can actually see and all that. Okay, so now first of all, let's talk about what a website is. A website is like a digital space. Okay, it's like an online shop. It's like a library that you can go to on your browser, okay, where you can see different things. And there are different things that you can do with a website. You can watch videos with websites, you can interact with people, chat with people, video calls and all that with a website. You can also read on a website, okay, you can shop on a website. So there are different kinds of websites for different purposes. Okay, now examples of websites is you have Google, you have Jumia, you have Facebook. Okay, all these are types of website, different kinds of website that you see online. So if you go to your browser and you type google.com, you're going to see the Google show up. Okay, if you go to your browser and type facebook.com, and I'm sure a lot of you know what Facebook looks like. If you go to your browser and you type facebook.com, you're going to see the interface of Facebook and what has been designed for that particular website. Okay, so that is what a website is. Now up next, we're going to be talking about the different kinds of websites. Okay, so now, like I said earlier, you have websites for shopping, you have websites for interacting with people, you have websites for making money, you have websites for reading, you have websites for watching videos and all that. Now all of these are different kinds of websites. Okay, now most shopping websites are called e-commerce websites. So if you go to a website like Jumia, Gigi, AliExpress, okay, all these websites are websites where you can shop, where you can place an order for something and then you can pay for it online and have it delivered to you. All those kinds of websites are called e-commerce websites, right? Then you also have websites like for investments sake. Okay, now investment websites are websites that tell you to let's say invest a certain amount of money to get something in return, this to getting that and all that. Okay, so that's what investment websites. So there are different kinds of investment websites. You have crypto investment websites, you have stock investments, you have different kinds of investment websites, you have real estate investment websites, you have different kinds of investment websites. Okay, we're going to go deeper into the different kinds of investment websites in our subsequent classes. Okay, so now we also have educational websites. Now educational websites are websites that you can go, like let's say a library. Okay, educational websites can also be Wikipedia. Yeah, so any website that you go to learn something, like allison.com, where you can get free courses like Coursera. Okay, so all these are educational websites. Now you also have portfolio website. Now a portfolio website is a website, like the name entails, it's just a simple website that talks about a particular person. Okay, talks about what the person does, talks about what the person has done, the different services the person offers and all that. So all those are called portfolio websites. So I can have a website for myself that I will call Beautyo, and then I can be talking about what I do, what I've achieved in life, the kind of services I render, what I can do for you and all that. Now that is a portfolio website, okay? Now you have social websites like Facebook and Twitter and the rest, okay? You also have blog websites, you have banking websites and all that, okay? Now what makes websites unique? What makes my website different from your website? What makes my website different from the next person's website is something called the website URL, okay? It's something called the website or web URL or the domain name, okay? So now this is what makes each website unique. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here is two websites cannot have the same domain name. Okay, so my website and your website can never have the same domain name. My website and my neighbor's website can never have the same URL or web address. Okay, so if my website is jumia.com, yours has to be jumias.com with an S, or you must change something. But my website URL and your website URL, or my domain name and your domain name, can never be the same. So that is what makes websites unique. Okay, so up next we're going to be talking about a domain name. Now, what is a domain name? Now, a domain name is like an address for the website. The same way you have your home address, that is what a website address, a web URL, or a domain name is. Okay, so a domain name is how people can actually access your website. Without a domain name, you can build, you can design heaven and earth, but without a domain name, people are not going to be able to see what you have actually designed. Okay, so in as much as it's good that you know how to build a website, if you do not have a domain name, your website is useless. It's practically useless. Okay, so now a domain name is like an address. It's like you have a shop in the market and your shop name is let's say shop 59. Two persons cannot have shop 59 in the same street. You understand? So there's always that uniqueness for every single website that you see online. So a domain name is like an address for your own website. So your domain name is unique to your website. Okay, so now we're going to go to parts of a domain name. Now there are different parts of domain names. Okay, you have the HTTPS. Now if you go online, if you type in google.com on your browser, you're going to see a prefix called a prefix that says HTTPS dot HTTPS colon slash slash. Okay, sometimes you see www dot, then the domain name. Okay, so now you see that prefix is something that shows that this particular website is secure. When you see HTTPS on a domain name, it shows that this particular website is secure. Okay, so this prefix tells the internet that this particular website is a secure website. Okay, so if you go to a website that does not have HTTPS and you try to fill in a form or something, Google is going to warn you that this particular site you are trying to fill in your details into is not a secured website. Okay, so it's very important that your domain name, your website, has HTTPS before it. Okay, now I'm going to show you in subsequent classes how you can ensure that your website has this HTTPS. Okay, how you can ensure your website is secure so you don't get that Google warning. Then also you have the domain name. Now the domain name is the main part of the domain URL, is the main part of the website URL. Okay, for example, like I told you, you have google.com, but Google is the main domain. Okay, Google is the main part of the domain name, the main part of the web URL. Okay, you can have digital marketing training agency.com. You see that digital marketing training agency, that part is the main part of the domain name. You see youtube.com, you see jumia.com, you see facebook.com. You see that part before it is the main part of the domain name. Okay, then you have your domain extensions. Now there are thousands of domain extensions that you can actually choose from. Okay, there's .com, there's .uk, there's .co.uk, there's .au, there's .ng, there's .store, .blog, .online. There are so many domain extensions. Now these domain extensions I'm listing out, I'm not just listing them out from the top of my head. So you don't just go and say, oh, I want my domain name to be .ion. So I'm going to say I'm buying youtube.ion. No, it doesn't work like that. There are domain extensions that have been created. There are domain extensions that already exist. So so whatever domain you're buying, it must be from the domain extensions that already exist. Okay, so if you go to most domain registers, I'm going to show you how to do this also. If you go to most domain registers, you're going to see different extensions that you can pick. They're going to give you suggestions for different extensions that you can pick, and that is how you know, like, if this particular extension is available to be purchased. Okay, so in essence, all I've said now is a domain name is like an address for your website, and a domain name is made up of three different parts: the HTTPS, the main domain name, and the domain extension. Okay, so we're going to be talking about hosting also. Now, what is an hosting server? So an hosting server is like a home for your website on the internet. Okay, so the same way your computer has different files and programs, different softwares that you have stored in your computer, that's the same way an hosting server stores the your website files. Okay, but this storage is online, not on your system. Okay, so the hosting server is basically an online space that stores all the files, whether be it images, videos, be it whatever data, okay, that you have on your website. you upload it into your hosting server so everybody can see it whenever they go to your domain URL. Okay, now what does an hosting server do? An hosting server keeps your website files and data and makes them accessible to anyone on the internet. Okay, so whenever somebody types in your domain URL or types in your website URL, what do they what sends the files out so people can see that okay, this website has a blue background, this website talks about this website is for shopping, this website is for this. It's your hosting server that sends out the files, that sends out the signal for people to see whenever they type in your domain URL. Okay, now why is your hosting server needed? An hosting server is needed because without it there's no place to store your files, there's no place to store the images or the videos that you have on your website, there's no place to store the details of your shop or whatever on your website. Okay, so that is why you need an hosting server. So the important things that you need to get your website running is first the domain name, okay, and then you need your hosting server, then you need to start building your website. Okay, now let me mention this before we end this particular video. Okay, now a domain name doesn't necessarily have to be your business name, but you can make your business name your domain name so people can easily identify that this business is what has this particular domain. Okay, so imagine if my business name is Jumia and then my domain name is bookmeonline.com. I can decide to actually have a business called Jumia and then my domain name is bookmeonline.com. But when people see bookmeonline.com, how on earth are they going to know that I'm talking about Jumia? How are they going to know if they click on this particular link, it's going to take them to a business, an e-commerce shop called Jumia? Okay, so that's the reason why it's important or it is wise for you to make your domain name. Okay, so if my business is Kicks by Soteria, all I have to do is call my I can either decide to abbreviate, say let's say KS, or I can decide to just spell it out fully, kicksbysoteria.com. Okay, I can decide to make it kicksbys.com. I can decide to make it kbys.com. You get, so whatever it people see the URL, they will have an idea of where they are going to. They will have an idea of what kind of website your link is leading them to. Okay, so now, so when you're picking a domain name, you have to try and ensure that domain name and your business name actually has a relationship. Okay, so in our next video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get your domain name, how you can get your domain, how you can get your hosting, the different companies that sell domain names, how you can pick the best extension for the kind of domain name, for the kind of web you are building. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this class. I will see you in our next class.